Welcome to CompuScholar's Professional Development webinar for November and December of 2024. Today we're going to cover some important logistical notes around the transition of semesters from semester 1 to semester 2 with your CompuScholar courses. And by the way, if you're working on a quarter system, just replace the word semester with quarter and all of the same concepts will apply. So today, again, we're going to focus on the logistics of transitioning between semesters with your CompuScholar courses. We'll start off and just cover the main considerations and things you want to watch out for. And then we'll explore what this means in the context of three different deployment options. Our standard deployment option with the registration codes, the automatic rostering and single sign-on that some of you are using, and we'll also talk briefly about the other LMS situation. So those are the three main cases we're going to cover. All right, so what are the main considerations when you come back from your semester break and you're about to launch into semester 2? If you're teaching a year-long course, so the students started at the beginning of the year, they should run for 2 full semesters or the entire year, then all you really want to do is just make sure that the existing CompuScholar course that you have remains as is. You don't want to lose any of your existing grades or student enrollments or anything like that. If you are teaching a single semester course, so the course will run for the first semester with one group of students, and then you're going to discard that first semester course and create a new course for the second semester, either with the same or a different CompuScholar title and with a potentially different mixture of students enrolled, then things get a little bit more interesting. So big picture, what you want to do if you're transitioning from one course in the first semester to a different course in the second semester is first make sure that you preserve all of the grades and other data that you might want from your first semester course. So this, generally speaking, means exporting grades from your gradebook. If you want to save reports to spreadsheets, you can run and export those reports. If you want to download student data like file submissions or activity submissions, you can do that as well. And then once you're done preserving all of that data, you'll just go ahead and remove the first semester courses from your dashboard and then add in the second semester courses that you want to use. So exactly how this happens depends on your deployment type. So if you're doing a standard deployment, things will work a certain way. If you're automatically rostered, things will look a little bit different. So let's talk through each of those situations. So in a standard deployment, a teacher would actually create their own courses through our teacher dashboard, and those courses would have student registration codes that you would hand out to students, and students will create their own CompuScholar accounts with those registration codes. So if you are in a standard deployment and you are running a year-long course where you have the same set of students in the same course for semester 2 as you do semester 1, there's nothing to do. So just relax and hang out and enjoy the transition. So your CompuScholar course doesn't change, the student access doesn't change, all of the grades and everything remain as is because it's still the same course. So that's pretty easy. Now if you're doing a semester-long course, again, you want to follow those main steps that we talked about earlier. The first step is to export grades from your CompuScholar gradebook, and then if you have any other data you want to save like student submissions or reports, you can do that as well. Then you will remove those old courses from your teacher dashboard, so that's a manual step you'll take as a teacher. And then you will create new courses on your teacher dashboard. Again, that's something you will do as the teacher. And each of those courses would have a new registration code that you could give to your new students, and they can self-enroll themselves in those classes. So let's switch over to our online system, and I'll just give you a quick demo of how this all works. All right, we're looking at a sample teacher account. And this teacher account currently has one production classroom under the high school. This is our first semester Python programming course. And if we scroll down just a little bit and take a peek at our license, you can see we have a paid license for 25 students, and there's 24 students remaining. So that means we've actually only allocated a single student into this first semester course for demonstration purposes. So let's go ahead and click into the course. And the first thing you'll likely want to do is export the grades from the gradebook. So we'll click on View Gradebook. And again, there's just a single student in this classroom. We can click the drop down and scroll down to the export option. From here, you can select all of the items that you want to export. And then when you're done, all the way down here at the bottom is your download button. So click the download button and you can get a local spreadsheet for your permanent records. So that will have all of your quiz grades, your test grades, and your activity grades. Let's go back to the course. And some other things you might want to do include looking at the report dashboard. The report dashboard has a variety of things that you can run, and you can save those reports to local spreadsheets as well. And you may also want to look at the completion certificates. So if you'd like to produce one-page PDF certificates for each of your students, you can go into that area and download the completion certificates as well. The only other thing you might want to do is go into the actual chapter activities, and if the student has submitted work online that you want to preserve long-term, you can go into those activities and actually download zip files of the student submissions, and you can keep those for your permanent records as well. So once you're completely done with the course, you've extracted all the data that you will ever need from this course, we can go back to the main dashboard. And now it's time to remove the course. So we'll click Remove Course. And you'll note right up here at the top, we've got a big warning. So when you delete a course, this is a permanent action that will remove the course, the student grades, the student data from the system, and this is irreversible. So please make sure you're completely done with the course before you decide to delete it. Once you do delete it, we can't recover the course for you. So again, this is a permanent action. We'll go ahead and remove the course. And now back in our dashboard, you can see the course is gone. And if we scroll down and peek at our license, you can see that single student that was in our original Python course has been returned to our general pool. So we now have our full 25 student licenses again. So anytime you delete a course off the dashboard, that should return any of the student licenses that were used to your general pool. And then you can apply those licenses to any new courses that you want to create for the second semester. And of course, if you're on an unlimited campus license, you don't have to worry about the details of individual students. You can freely create as many classrooms as you need with as many enrolled students. So once you're ready to create your second semester course, just go ahead and click Add Course. You can select a new course. It can be the same type of course or a completely different course. You can enroll your new students in the same way that you did it the first semester, and you'll be all set for the second semester. So that's all there is for standard deployment. Now let's go ahead and move ahead to automatic rostering and single sign-on. So if you are using Clever or ClassLink or GG4L to communicate your roster information to CompuScholar and have us automatically create all of your classrooms and your student and teacher accounts, then this section will apply to you. If you're doing a year-long course, and importantly, that course is represented as a full year-long course in your student information system, then once again, there's nothing that you have to do. Nothing will change in your CompuScholar environment. It will be the same course with the same students, and everything should just run as expected. So again, this is dependent on your student information system understanding that you have a one-year course and representing it as a full-year course within that system and having that reflected to us through your Clever, ClassLink, or GG4L data. We do see quite frequently that what you would consider to be a year-long course is actually coded as 2 independent single semester courses in your system. So if that is the case, those 2 courses would actually be represented to CompuScholar as 2 independent courses, one of them in semester 1 and the second one in semester 2. And what we want to do is ensure that you continue using the same CompuScholar course to preserve your student progress and grades and enrollments. So our automatic sync should detect this transition and make any necessary adjustments. So if your class name changes slightly from semester 1 to semester 2, if there's a slightly different mixture of student enrollments and so forth, the automatic sync should detect and handle that. However, this is a heuristic. It's an algorithm that attempts to do some matching because the Clever, ClassLink, and GG4L data doesn't actually tell us that you're transitioning between these 2 courses. So we have to kind of guess and figure it out on our own. So please just double check your classes in the second semester and make sure that you have all the students enrolled that you expect and so forth. And if there's any problems, let us know and we'll get it sorted out. Now, if you're in this automatic rostering and single sign-on deployment for semester-long courses, what you want to realize is that these semester-long courses are usually marked with some sort of term dates in your roster data. So your roster is going to tell us that your semester 1 term starts on a certain date and stops on a certain date, and your semester 2 will then pick up on a start date, a new start date, and then end on a new end date. So we do actually pay attention to those dates in the sync, and that becomes a little bit important. So prior to the stop date for your first term, so if your school says your term ends on December 26th, just to pick a date, then you want to make sure you export your grades from your CompuScholar gradebook before that term ends. So when that term does end and your roster data tells us to turn off those classes, the courses will automatically disappear from your dashboard. So our nightly sync will pick up, see that your first term is ended, and remove those classes and kind of prepare the way for the second term. So when that second term does start, then the new courses and student enrollment should be automatically created by the nightly sync. So just like the first semester, there's nothing you have to do. At some point, all the data will just appear and you can begin your second term. So usually the first and second term dates that are provided in your student information system are a pretty good match for what you actually need on the ground. But if you find that you need your first semester classes longer than your term end date, or you need your second semester classes earlier than the start of your second term, please contact us. Let us work with you to manage that data a little bit more closely, and we can usually get that sorted out so that you have access to the courses that you need on the time frame that you need them. So the last deployment type that we wanted to talk about is other LMS. So this means you're actually hosting your CompuScholar courses in Canvas or Schoology or some other sort of similar learning management system. So if that is the case, then you're not actually working with CompuScholar at all in order to transition between your semesters. So we don't have your student accounts, we don't have your enrollments, we haven't created any classes for you, we don't have any of your data. All of that is kept in your learning management system and not ours. Therefore, any turnover plans for your semester should be specified by your district and the management team that's in charge of your learning management system. So definitely please check with those folks and make sure that you understand what's going to happen as you transition from semester 1 to semester 2. Our expectation is that your district has that nicely automated and smoothed out, but if there's any questions about how it's going to work, please don't hesitate to check with your district team, and they can certainly explain what's going to happen as you move from semester 1 to semester 2 in your particular case. So that's it for today. It was pretty easy. We just wanted to make sure that everybody was level set in terms of what's going to happen as you move into your second semester. We appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach us by phone or through our website, or you can contact your customer service representative.